Lancy remix, page 444.
Welcome back to Take 444. We're still in the B's, and this week I'm going to be looking at just one artist, and that is the mighty Bevis Frond from the UK. He single-handedly carried the freak flag through the late 80s, the 90s, and he's got another album coming out in about 3 weeks' time. Got my order in already. Can't wait. It's a one-man band, basically, although he does do some touring. His name is Nick Salomon, and he's a fantastic artist, and anybody interested in psychedelia should really check him out. He first started out in as the Bevis Frond in about 1988, I think it was, 87, with his first album, and he's still going strong, as I say. He first appeared on record, as far as I know. I did show this once before on my intro video. On this album, Odd Socks, Men of the Moment. This is an acoustic duo. They were friends of his, and Nick was pictured on the back cover because he added some guitar on, bass guitar and electric piano. This is signed. I got this on eBay a few years ago. Signed by the two guys originally. Nick's still in touch with one of them, I think. And Nick used to run a record shop on the south coast of England, Bexhill, and it was the best psychedelic record shop in the UK. Unfortunately, it's closed now because he's retired. But I took it in there once, and he signed it for me. It's not a fantastic record. It's just a folk record, but I got it for completion's sake. I first found out about it by found out about Bevis Frond through this album, I believe. So this is they ran a record label called Warren Zoid, and this was a sampler, Warren Zoid it's called, a double album with some Bevis Frond tracks on it, and an absolutely fantastic track called The Hypnotic Sponge, which I shall probably put some of that in, drop that in later. Inside was this is my original copy. Inside was a printed sheet of credits and liner notes, and also there was an advert for a fanzine that was coming out soon, called the Ptolemaic Terrascope, with a free EP. They carried on doing the free EPs at great cost. That's the fantastic artwork. I think that's Todd Dillingham doing the artwork there. Anyway, so he published a fanzine, or a music magazine called Ptolemaic Terrascope. That's the first copy. These are quite collectible now. Volume 1. It's now digital, but for many years it was just a paper edition. I actually got my name into edition 2 when I wrote in about some very obscure fact about an album. That's the front cover. So this was just £2 £2 a copy, I think it was. And he also did. He also started off doing some live work, and that's a ticket and flyer for his first gig at the Fulham Greyhound in London, December '89. The Freak Beat Freakout it was called, with Magic Muscle, Bevis Frond, the Chemistry Set, and the Steps, I believe. Fantastic band from Irish-American band from the US, who really should have been huge but weren't. More about them later, but they played and they did a fantastic set. Anyway, these are my copies of the copies I could get hold of, put my hands on, of Ptolemaic Terrascope. Anyway, back to the music. And in the background you can probably hear, it's probably a bit too loud, that's Bevis doing one of his freakouts on Miskatonic Variations, I think it is, part 2 from New River Head, which is one of his best albums. His first album, anyway, is, I'm only going to show a few of them because I've got them all. There's about 25, but the first few were the best, although there's still some very good stuff coming out. So this is the first album, Miasma, the Bevis Frond, 1987-88. This is a Reckless. I got this written inside in 1990. So this was a reissue. The first one sold out on Warren Zoid. Yeah, this is on the Reckless label. The next one he did was In a Marshland, which is a fantastic record. So his stuff is there's some kind of acoustic tracks on these, but there's also there's some fantastic songwriting. He's a great songwriter, but there's some absolutely amazing guitar freakouts and long tracks, and there's some drifty bits, folky bits. The track listing includes stuff, and he's also got a great turn of phrase and track names. So there's Medieval Chinese Acid Blues on here, Minsmere Sphagnum Defoliation Part 1, Reflections in the Tall Mirror, Cries from the Inner Marshland. They also brought out a few years ago. This is on Cherry Red. This is the same album, but it's got 9 unreleased tracks on it, so I picked that up. His third album, which is one of his best, signed copy here, is Triptych. This has got Lights Are Changing, which is one of his most famous tracks. It's also got Tangerine Infringement Beak, which is just I don't know how long it is, about 10 minutes long. It's just fantastic psychedelic guitar workout. It's just brilliant. He really lets rip with the Hendrix stuff. This is a reissue. The original was a single album. There was a reissue, which is a double album with some unreleased tracks on it. His next one, I believe this is his next one, is called Any Gas Faster. This is actually a full band. The first 3 albums were recorded on, I think they all 3 were recorded on 4-track, and it was just Nick playing everything, drums included. This one is the first one with a full band. His touring band includes Adrian Shaw, who was in Hawkwind, and Magic Muscle. This is his first compilation, I think, which is called the Auntie Winnie album. The title of it is in the typeface from Steve Miller's first album, Children of the Future. Don't know if anybody ever got that. So this is his the back cover of this album. That's his Auntie Winnie. And then he put out this album called Bevis Through the Looking Glass, double album again, including a track that he performed in 1967 in his bedroom. And this is just brilliant. It's got the Shrine on it, which is a great long track. And there's a numbered reissue of that. Another album of his, this is Acid Jam, so this is what it sounds like. It's a single album of psychedelic guitar freakout. That's the fantastic label, the Warren Zoid label, and inside insert. He did an album with Twink called Magic Eye, Twink and Bevis and Twink. This is signed by Bevis and Twink, and is it's pretty good. It's not as good as his solo stuff, in my opinion. So I'm just going to rattle through a few of his more recent stuff. these are not in order because this one, Little Eden, only came out last year, I think, or the year before. This is a 12-inch Ear Song. That's the touring band. This touring band has got Rod Goodway in it, who was in bands from the early 60s, actually, beat groups, The Pack, and he was in a band called JP Sunshine before starting Magic Muscle, kind of a commune band down in west of England. He used to be a record dealer, and he ran a mail order company. He died a couple of years ago, unfortunately, but I used to buy most of my psychedelic records from him in the 80s, late 80s, and he was fantastic. He actually sent me once, and I couldn't find it, but I have got it somewhere. I bought an early copy, I think it was a bootleg actually, of the Electric Prunes playing in Copenhagen, I think it was, in '67 when they did a UK tour. And he'd written to the lead singer, whose name escapes me at the moment, but he actually sent me, and he got a reply, and he sent me the reply with the album. So it might actually be in with the album. I can't remember. But he was that sort of bloke, just fantastic guy. And sorely missed. And he had another band called Ethereal Counterbalance, which I shall be showing later when I get to Ease. That'll be sometime in the year 2062, I think. By the speed that I'm going through these. But yeah, they're a great band as well, a good live band. Played at the Terrastock. So this is another Bevis one. This came out, I don't know, in mid-90s, I should think. Sprawl. It just is. This is another double album. Bevis, lots of guitar workouts on these. This is a bootleg Nick and the Psychotic Drivers. So according to Nick, he got a sleeve by Phil Smith, I've just noticed, of Bam Caruso. So Nick was on holiday in Italy, and he met up with some band, the Psychotic Drivers, and rehearsed in an afternoon, played some stuff in a studio. They recorded it and put out this album, much to his annoyance, without his permission. It's a bootleg. So this is on, I've never seen this shown anywhere, so this is a Bevis bootleg. Then he put out this one. This is about 2004 or 5 probably. Vavona Burr, which is these are all on Warrenzo Records. Vavona Burr is actually the name of a veneer used in furniture making. So that's the Warrenzo label. This one came out 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. The Clocks. Oh no, this is more recent. So last year, I think. This is on his new label called Blue Matter. And as I said earlier, I think he's got a new album coming out in a few weeks' time. I have my order in, and that is also going to be on that label, the Blue Matter. One of his best albums is London Stone. This came out '92, it says on the back. Great record. I've got a couple of them on CD, which I haven't got here. This one came out in 2012 on Fire Records. This is What Did for the Dinosaurs. And this one came out last year on Blue Matter. This is the long stuff. So this is a double album of just long tracks, which he's well known for. He's had his stuff covered by Teenage Fan Club and people like that. So I've changed the record, as they say, and you're now going to be introduced to the wonders of the Hypnotic Sponge. That's off this Warren Zoe album. This is by by the Bizarre Dvarks, who were it was actually one guy. So this isn't actually Bevis Frond. This is Todd Dillingham, who's sadly passed away. I think it's Todd or Mick Dillingham brothers, who they're both involved in the label. And this was a big favourite of mine in the late 80s, early 90s. Bevis is, if you're new to Bevis Frond, and I'm sure a lot of you are, the first 2 or 3 albums, so Inner Marshland, Miasma and Triptych, are the 3 to go for. After that, the best one, actually, and maybe the best one to start with, because it's a double album and shows his breadth of his talent, is New River Head. So this came out in I don't know, about 1990, mid-90s I should think. So New River Head. Nick does all the artwork on these things, and this has got some fantastic stuff on it. It comes with an insert. All of his, pretty much all of his stuff comes with inserts. So this is Nick doing everything apart from drums on this one, and it's got tracks such as He'd Be a Diamond, which is a track that's been covered by a few other artists and is fantastic. If you want to hear what he sounds like acoustically, if you just go on YouTube and look up Bevis Frond, Lights Are Changing and He'd Be a Diamond, he's playing with Adrian Shaw, as I said, from Hawkwind, just in a back room, just playing those 2 tracks. Don't know where it was, but it's fantastic. Brilliant guitar playing and singing and great songwriting. But it's also got tracks like Stain on the Sun, Thankless Task, which is brilliant as well, Miskatonic Variations and Godspeed You to Earth and It Won't Come Again, all absolute classics, and I really recommend this album. You won't be disappointed. But that's it for Bevis Frond. There'll be some more stuff coming soon. I hope you enjoyed this, and check out the Bevis Frond. Bye.
Registering